All right, hello World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomacher. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you go down and hit subscribe for us. And more subscribers come back over and over again, see who we're hanging with. We are here at the 35th Annual Necronomicon in Tampa, Florida, and I am hanging with Rob Westerfield. Rob, thanks for hanging with us, man.
Thanks for having me come over.
Rob's a filmmaker and animator. He is the creator responsible for Elixir Mandragora, the movie.
Yeah, it's a steampunk opera, so we're going to see how that goes in animation. Clockwork Not Work released an opera a couple years ago, and we approached them to see if we could animate it, and Daniel said, go for it, so that's our current project.
Fantastic, man. When do we expect that coming?
We should see it in probably about 2 years.
Okay.
Clockwork Not Work is a very popular local Florida steampunk. They also do the Crack, which is Renaissance Fair music.
Okay.
And we had the pleasure of working with The Cog is Dead for one of the songs on it. So we're pretty excited about this.
Oh, fantastic, man. So give us sort of the book/movie blurb on what we can expect.
Young European comes to America to find fame and fortune. Gets hooked up with a basically a crack dealer, which would be a Mandragorian tea.
Okay.
A little bit of dark magic. And his life goes well, and then with all dark magic situations, lots of people die.
Okay. Something to look forward to.
And if you want to hear it, you can go to Clockwork Knotwork's website, and you can download it. You can purchase it. It's a wonderful album.
That's fantastic. All right. So, how are you distributing when you get it all done?
That's not really part of my end. I'm
You're
the
doing
art
production.
Stuff.
Yeah.
We are. Have a lot of hopes, of course.
Awesome.
With any indie situation, you do the circuit. They have a huge fan base, so
Awesome.
that will help us, get maybe a distribution deal. It might be one of the Netflix type things. It might be a TV type thing. I don't think it'd ever be theater type thing. I would hope. I mean, we all have our hopes, but they've got a good network out there, and I think it'd be a good response. Probably a limited theater, type thing.
Now, you've been doing the production for a while now. You've been doing productions for a while now.
Yeah, the last big thing we did was Shockwave Dark Side, which is a live-action independent 3D movie. It was considered to be one of the first modern 3D films. So it's an independent. That unfortunately went straight to Netflix, but it had an interesting review because it wasn't a typical sci-fi thriller. It was just more science-based.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of first-person perspective shots, a lot of CGI on it. We did the costumes and a little bit of acting in it.
Fantastic.
But our studio does a lot of pre-production now. We're trying to get into animation.
Awesome. Well, what in particular draws you toward animation?
Ralph Bakshi.
Okay.
That sums it up.
Yeah.
More reality stuff. Wizards, I fell in love with that. That was my driving thing. I've never slick enough to do Disney, and I don't like that whole happy.
So something a little darker and
a little bit more reality.
Yeah.
And I think Baxi and a lot of other new animators are doing a little bit more real.
Now, well, we all know making an indie film is no easy task. Doing anything indie is no easy task. It's hard. As an animator, what is that like, working as an indie animator? That's a lot of work that you guys pour into an animation.
It is, and it's good if you can find good artists. I'm not the artist person per se. I draw if I have to. I do good backgrounds. I'm a great architectural drawer.
Okay.
I consider myself a very good producer, And so we can look at a project and break it down. So a lot of people do like, oh, I made a short, I made a short, I made a short. Well, if you make 10 shorts, you've made a movie. So if you can break down a production, and that's where being a producer comes in handy, and having the ability to go, oh, let's break this down to a 10-minute segment, let's break this down to a 5-minute segment. And eventually you string all those together, you've got a movie. I remember there was one of the very early zombie films. He shot the first reel, he went out, he said, look what I made half of a movie. Give me $175,000. And they did. So he got the rest of...
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. So we love to ask our indie filmmakers, because film sets can be, they can be taxing, they can be difficult, but they can also be a lot of fun. So what was the most memorable moment for you on set producing one of your projects?
I think one of mine would have been, since we do what people consider motion capture now, but we rotoscope a lot, is I hired a camera guy to come in with his camera rig, nice professional rig, and we didn't have any bounce lights or anything because we didn't need it. He's setting up the rig, and we're talking and throwing paper wads at each other behind what's going on. And he's like, I went, sound doesn't matter, visual doesn't matter, we only need to capture these people walking to here, and that's it, that's the shot. And he's like, oh, and he pulled out a chair and he sat down and clicked on the camera and he just relaxed.
Just relaxed for a little while.
And he's like, this is a day off. And I went, yeah, basically, and because we have a lot of fun on our shoots.
That's fantastic.
It is a fun day.
So we want folks out there that are going to be looking for these films and things to get to know you as a person. We all know that it is easier to pick a piece of art, a story, a film, if we think we know that guy. I know a guy that makes films.
Okay.
So, knowing a guy that makes films, are you a glass is half empty or half full kind of guy? Or are you the kind of guy that's just
fuck the glass?
Fuck the glass.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to get
Amazing.
the stuff done.
It's YouTube, we can say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
So, awesome. Fantastic. So, things that scare you, phobias. Anything?
Wow, phobias for me.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really don't like 7-foot waves on a 20-foot boat. I guess that's a scary thing.
Valid. That's a valid concern.
Phobia.
Yeah.
Worms crawling under my skin. That would be a nightmarish type thing.
That would do it too.
That you see it in the movies.
The little,
and you can't get
like
to
the
them.
X-Files thing happens.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that would be about it, but not a realistic phobia.
The more I ask that question to people, the more I realize that I must be a really scared person, because every answer, I have to agree, is pretty creepy.
Well, here's the one that's going to really get you.
Uh-oh.
This is the dystopian society we live in.
That one, yeah. I just wrote a dystopian novel,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that hard. All I had to do is look around.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is a sci-fi convention. This is Geeks R Us here. This is great.
Yeah.
So
Necro's been around for a long time.
You can take a ride with the Doctor, any place in time. Where would you go?
Yeah, that's always been a hard one, and I'm not overly religious, but I would like to see if Jesus was what he was doing, if he was doing stuff. I think that would be
just kind of go hang out with the guys for a while and see.
Just to see.
Yeah.
And if not that, I would like to get dropped off in the mid-1800s to re-explore the world.
Nice. Very nice. Get to know things that we're so used to Google Maps.
Yeah.
We can see anything in the world. And so it would be interesting to be in that perspective where it was unknown.
I've used some of those programs to drive through London and New Orleans to get set locations, to then, for New Orleans, we then drove out there to do filming.
That's fantastic.
But you could sit there and draw London, that street, by Google Earth.
Wow.
So it's changed a lot.
Kind of looking at the world as an unknown would be kind of fun for a little while, huh?
It would be neat. There's still so much there, and I think in the mid-1800s, I mean, the imperial countries were still there, but I think you had more chance of surviving than traveling around today.
Yeah.
I might be a little paranoid about that, but I think it'd be fun to be in Africa now. I'd love to see Baghdad back in the 1800s. I think that would have been beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. You know, the Middle East culture up until World War I was on par with everywhere else in the world.
Well, look at the top things to go see. Port-au-Prince, gone. Baghdad, gone. Egypt, totally changed. I mean, all the cool stuff that we grew up watching, the black and white shows and reading the novels.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. So we want to give another plug out. Elixir Mandragora is the movie.
Movie and album.
And album coming very soon. It is again based on the steampunk. It's a steampunk opera.
It's a steampunk opera from Clockwork Not Work.
Clockwork Not Work. And we're going to put those links down in the description. They're flashing the card that says I got to go here.
Oh, okay.
So as we do that, though, we want to send our thanks to Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, our friends at Wordfire Press, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, and the Historical Miniature Gaming Society South for sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web. I am GW Pominger, and we have been hanging with Rob Westerfield, a filmmaker and animator, the creator, producer, really, of the Elixir Mandragora, the movie coming soon. We're going to put those links down in the description, so check them out. Remember, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.